Hello everyone. So I filmed a video for the Masked Singer season 3 episode 8, but apparently somehow I accidentally deleted it. So how I'm going to start out this video, I guess, is talking about who got unmasked on that episode and who they turned out to be. The person that got unmasked was Swan. A lot of you probably already know this because it's been well over a week since that happened. And she turned out to be Bella Swan. She said that the Twilightish type clues and the Kristen Stewart referencing type clues were actually referencing the fact that Kristen Stewart played for Bella in the Twilight series. And there was in the clues for her on that episode, it did say made in Japan on something, and I was like, well, I'm pretty sure Kristen Stewart wasn't made in Japan, and of course that's not who she turned out to be. I thought she did a lot better in her performance on that episode than she did on the previous one. On the one before that, she seemed really nervous to me, but I thought she did pretty good on episode 8, but she was the one that got eliminated. So now I want to talk about season 3, episode 9. I'm going on my memory for this because I don't have my notes my notes actually are in my phone and I haven't written down anything about them. So what I want to say about this is there was, in the clues for Rhino, they showed the Missouri, like the state of Missouri. I had two different thoughts on that. And I'm pretty sure that Rhino was the one that said something about mall, which I thought maybe had to do with performing at a mall. But when I went back to check, he said something about him and Nicole, I believe it was. I want to say shopping for Christmas gifts together or something along that line. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. But the Mo thing, the Missouri thing, the abbreviation for Missouri is Mo, M-O. So that had me thinking two different things. The mall thing had me leaning toward maybe one of the Jonas Brothers, and I was going like, wait, now I'm trying to remember if that's who, never mind, that was Astronaut. Oh gosh, okay, that was Astronaut that had the mall thing. So anyhow, back to Rhino. I forgot what Rhino's clue was, but there was the Missouri thing in his. And so something about his singing and the way that he was acting when he was like dancing and stuff as he was singing made me think maybe he was more of an athlete, and his voice for a little bit sounded pretty familiar to me. And so I was like, Missouri. Maybe he is an athlete. Maybe he's one of the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe he's, my brain keeps saying Kaepernick because that's who a lot of people were thinking White Tiger was, and he's not even a Kansas City Chief. But maybe he's I cannot think of his name. Homies. Y'all know who I'm talking about, the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick, right? Patrick Homies. Because I think Rhino sings really good. I think he's possibly a professional singer. I was still leaning toward Trace Adkins, though I can't find any connection to Trace Adkins and Missouri. Though now that I think about it, I didn't look into where his wife is from. And what made me think of that just now is I'm like, wait, is Patrick Homies married? Because Rhino definitely said something about his wife pretty much saving his life, so yeah. But now I'll go ahead and talk about Astronaut now, since I was thinking that I was talking about Astronaut anyway. So yeah, Astronaut was the one that had they had the little Lego figure additional clue thingy, and he had a mall and said something about that him and Nicole had been Christmas shopping together, and the initially the mall thing, I went, oh, well, like maybe it's one of the Jonas Brothers, because when they were early on, they were performing at malls a whole lot, you know, like several groups have in the past, which now that I think about it, maybe NSYNC did too. I was kind of thinking Lance Bass for a little bit, because there is the astronaut thing, and he said something about bye bye bye, which we know that sometimes they will say stuff that and intentionally try to mislead us into thinking that they're someone that they're not. So I kind of took that as one of those. But I was still leaning toward Matt Damon possibly, because the mall hint, and I was thinking that he was in Mallrats, but he actually wasn't. That was Ben Affleck. It was actually a movie that they weren't both in together. So I was like, I don't know about that. And Will Arnett was the guest star, I think, guest judge on this episode. Yes. And he, for astronaut, given the clues, he said possibly, okay, now I'm confusing myself again. I'm back to Rhino. Oh gosh, it's gonna be a long day. Anyway, for Rhino, Will Arnett said possibly the mo thing stood for slow mo, and David Hasselhoff was in Baywatch, which had all the slow-mo scenes. And so I figured out that David Hasselhoff can sing. He's like 6'3", I believe it is. So Rhino could be David Hasselhoff. That's another, I think that's a very good possibility. Though I do need to look into the Trace Adkins thing. Trying to remember. Okay, so now back to astronaut. Astronaut, yeah. Trying to remember what some of his other clues were. I was still thinking, you know, if it is him and Nicole went Christmas shopping together at a mall, it could still be Ben Affleck. It could still be Matt Damon. And I think a lot of the other clues point to Matt Damon. And I'm trying to remember, like, there were a lot of people that the Pussycat Dolls performed with, so because I was thinking maybe it was someone that they performed with that maybe she even like dated for a while or something, but I don't know about that for sure. And so the other characters that were left were T-Rex, Night Angel. Oh, I guess maybe that's it, because I already talked about Rhino and Astronaut. And they're down to 3 now, so yeah, Night Angel and T-Rex. Okay. T-Rex, I still did not think was a singer. She was very, very high energy. After her performance on episode 9, I was like, I am not sure who she is still at all, really, but I felt like I needed to venture a guess. And I think, if I recall correctly, I mean, she was doing fairly high kicks and stuff like that, and I was like, I mean, Hilary Duff used to be real high energy, but I don't remember her ever, like, doing kicks like that or anything like that. And if I recall correctly, I went ahead and went with, yeah, now I'm not gonna think of who it was. Well, anyway, there was someone that, I think I went ahead and went with not Ronda Rousey, but one of the younger MMA fighters. Sorry, Ronda. I can't remember her name now. Her first name's Amanda. But anyway, that was who I went with. And she was the one that ended up getting unmasked. So I will tell you here in a little bit after I talk about Night Angel who she is, okay? So Night Angel, I was leaning kind of toward Tina Turner, maybe Janet Jackson, and her clue toward one of the judges, like her Lego clue, was like her and Jenny, and she said that on pretty much every season of the show, Jenny has guessed her. Well, Will Arnett was talking about Janet Jackson and how he thought possibly that she was Janet Jackson. And then he goes off and is like, so I think she's Mayim Bialik. And I was like, okay, well, Jenny has thought that Mayim Bialik was on some seasons, and her clue was that Jenny had guessed her on pretty much every season as being someone. And then I was thinking this morning, and I was like, actually, I kind of think Ken is the one that's always like Mayim Bialik, and other people are like, no, that's not her. So I am really leaning toward Janet Jackson for her, except I think that she said she's been singing ever since she was a teenager. And, well, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Janet Jackson has been singing for longer than that, but maybe not, because Joe Jackson did not allow his daughters to be in the Jackson 5, so she probably did start performing actually later than the boys did. So I am kind of still leaning toward Janet Jackson for her. For a while I was leaning toward Tina Turner, and then when she performed on episode 8, I was like, she has a very good voice, she has a strong voice, but it's not the iconic voice of Tina Turner. I'm not saying her voice is not iconic, just not the iconic voice of Tina Turner. And her build, I got to looking like Tina Turner is really, really skinny and pretty short. Janet Jackson is approximately the same height as me, I think. Night Angel is wearing heels, like maybe 2 or 3 inch heels. But yeah, Janet Jackson I think is about the same height as me, and the last I knew, I mean, she has weight, you know, ups and downs like most of us do from time to time, but the last I knew she was I would say about average build, and she has, I want to say, thicker thighs. That's not a bad thing. Just people's bodies are built a little differently, and I think the thighs are too thick on Night Angel for her to be Tina Turner, so I'm leaning more toward Janet Jackson for her. So okay, back to T-Rex. T-Rex was the one that was unmasked, as I said, and I think 3 of the judges ended up getting her right, which was only partly because Robin decided to go with Jenny and Nicole and say the same person they were saying, because he thought that they seemed like they know more about that sort of stuff or something funny like that. But she turned out to be JoJo Siwa, who I once more have no idea who is. I mean, it's like Bella Thorne, I don't really know who is, but I think I've seen her in some stuff. JoJo Siwa apparently hosted Double Dare on Nickelodeon for a while. Not any of the times that I watched it, because I watched it in the 90s and early 2000s, pretty sure it was, and was not even aware that the show was still coming on. And she's only like 14, 15 years old, so there's no way she was hosting it when I was watching it. You know what I mean? This is 2020. Means she was born in like 2005. But anyway, yeah, I have literally no idea who she is. My sister said that she has seen a lot of her videos and stuff, but maybe because her grandkids watch her or something, I don't know. But to me, I mean, my sister thinks that Group C is the most talented. I think there are extremely talented ones in all of them. I think definitely the 3 that deserve to be in the final 3 from Group C are in the final 3, which are Rhino, Astronaut, and Night Angel. I have a feeling Kangaroo will probably be next to go, even though she was getting better. And try to remember who the rest of them are. Oh, now I'm getting sleepy. Well, I think like my favorites from Group A and B still are From A, definitely turtle. From B, definitely frog. And from group C, would either have to be, well, the three that are left are all pretty good. I was going to say it'd either have to be rhino or astronaut, but night angel's pretty good too, so I don't know. But I have a feeling that maybe possibly turtle is going to win the entire thing, but I've been wrong in the past. And it, you know, to me, after seeing Shakira and Drew Carey in earlier groups, along with some of the other people that were unmasked, it just, like, I was kind of disappointed to see who the people were that were unmasked in Group C, because I was like, I have no idea who they are. But I know there are people out there that do know who they are, and we're probably thrilled to see that they were on the show. And JoJo Siwa, like, the younger generation really probably knows who she is, so they would probably be really excited to see that she was on there. And in my video that I accidentally deleted, I mentioned that I'm not sure how much more of the Masked Singer we're going to have this season for a while, because Hollywood has shut down production of all of the stuff that they were filming. And I know that the Masked Singer was doing some live performances, or were planning to, and I don't see them having a whole, like, hundreds of thousands of people together in a studio to film the show. And I'm pretty sure that they're not going to be doing the live filmings of it. And I feel like up to episode 9 and the final 9 was what they had pre-recorded, so I'm speculating that it probably will not be coming on this Wednesday unless it's a rerun. So what I plan to do is rewatch some of the episodes from this season and see who, or not from this season, from previous seasons, and see who all Jenny did guess, and maybe use that as a guide to see who I think Night Angel actually is. And there will be a lot of other stuff that I will be watching too, but but yeah, I don't know, you know, this COVID-19 pandemic has pretty much put everything to a halt, except for donating plasma. If anyone is interested in that, I don't know whether they're taking new donors or not, actually, because they're being really picky about who they're letting in. My son said that he heard that the other plasma center in Oklahoma City is actually closed, that, like, they're not doing donations at all, but the one where he donates is allowing people in. Only donors are allowed in. That's why I'm sitting in my car. I mean, I generally sit in the car anyway, and I've got Damon doggy with me. He's sleeping, he's tired. He went and did some deliveries with me last night. But yeah, everyone just, you know, keep washing your hands. Try to distance yourself from people the best you can, and take care of yourself. If you have loved ones, you know, check in with them, maybe not even in person, but like check with them on the phone and everything, and make sure they're doing okay. My oldest sister got a new phone and asked me to contact all of my other siblings yesterday and let them know that, well, have them send her their phone numbers, because she didn't have any of the phone numbers that were in her old phone. I've been there and done that several times. I usually use my dad for getting everyone's phone numbers, or my dad and my mom, because their numbers were ones that I would remember. But my dad gave her my number. He spoiled my fun. He told me to send her my number, and I texted her and was like, I'm watching The Masked Singer right now. Do you know who I am? My dad had already sent her my number, like, literally right before I sent her that text. So she's like, Dad sent me your number, so yes, I know who you are. And I was like, oh, I was trying to have some fun with this. But yeah, so she had my number, so she asked me to send it to the other siblings. And so my two younger siblings were like, hope you guys are all doing okay. And I was like, as far as I know, we're all doing fine. I've seen the two kids that live up here that don't live with me within the past week, and they seem to be doing okay. And one of my grandsons is up here, which I didn't tell them that, but he is, and he seems to be doing fine. And my little sister is like, I know exactly, or actually she was like, right? It's so hard to tell whether someone is actually doing all right now or not. And that's so true, because people can have this and not have any symptoms of it. Or they, you know, with allergy season and regular flu season, you can have what you think are symptoms of COVID-19, and it can just be allergies or the regular flu. Now, allergies you're not going to have a fever with, of course. My allergies have been bothering me some because ragweed pollen is high right now, and that's one of the things that aggravates my allergies a lot. Like, I was like, oh, I'm getting a scratchy throat. I hope I'm not getting COVID, because I deliver food to people and we do no contact stuff, and I have my nitrile gloves that I use, my good old nitrile gloves here that I do use whenever I'm doing no contact deliveries of food. And I have disinfectant wipes that I use to wipe down the handles of my bags. Oh, here comes my son. Maybe he couldn't donate.